Let's talk about a film that didn't just scare audiences, it completely rewired the rules of cinema. We're going to dive into Alfred Hitchcock's 1960 masterpiece, Psycho, and really break down what makes it so terrifying even today. And this quote right here, it really nails it. We're not just talking about some great scary movie. We're talking about a full-on cinematic revolution. Psycho completely changed the language of horror, and honestly, we're still feeling its aftershocks in filmmaking today. So that raises the big question, right? How on earth did a black and white film from over 60 years ago manage to shock people so profoundly that it literally changed movies forever? So what was Hitchcock's big secret? Well, it wasn't some cheap jump scare, that's for sure. The real genius lies in this brilliant, deliberate deception that's built right into the very structure of the story itself. The film's power really starts with how masterfully it leads you down one path, only to just pull the rug out from under you. And it all begins with who we think is our main character. Hitchcock just meticulously builds our expectations. First, we meet Marion Crane. She's pushed to do something desperate. She steals a life-changing amount of money. Then, we're right there with her on this tense escape, feeling her paranoia, hoping she gets away and starts that new life. And then, she makes that fateful stop at the quiet, lonely Bates Motel. Every single one of these steps is designed to make you think you know exactly what kind of movie you're watching. I mean, for that entire first act, you are 100% convinced you're watching a crime drama. You're inside Marion's head, feeling all her guilt and anxiety. You're following the thief, totally unaware that the real monster is hiding in plain sight. And this is where the movie just takes a sudden, violent turn. How does this straightforward story about a woman on the run just transform into a terrifying psychological nightmare? Well, the answer is all in the director's incredible command of his craft. Because the terror in this film isn't just about what happens, it's about how it's shown. Hitchcock had this whole toolbox of cinematic techniques he used to get right under our skin and build an atmosphere of just pure dread. Let's break down these 3 keys to fear. First, the choice to shoot in stark black and white. This wasn't just an artistic choice. It strips away any comfort, gives it that gritty film noir vibe, and frankly, it made the violence more acceptable to the censors back in 1960. Then you have Bernard Herrmann's unforgettable, screeching score, which is basically an attack on your ears all by itself. And finally, the brilliant, suggestive editing, which forces your own mind to imagine the most horrible things. I mean, that violin score is so much more than background music. It's an auditory weapon. Those shrieking strings don't just go along with the horror. They pierce straight into your nerves. It's a key part of Hitchcock's arsenal of terror. And all of this just climaxes in the shower scene. It is a masterclass in terror. But here's the real secret. It's all created through that incredible editing and that piercing sound. Hitchcock proved, maybe better than anyone ever, that true horror is most effective when it's just suggested, when your own mind fills in the graphic details that he deliberately leaves out. But, technical brilliance alone doesn't make something a masterpiece. The film's real power also comes from its human element, from these chillingly real characters who feel both totally familiar and deeply, deeply unsettling. At the heart of it all are 2 unforgettable performances. You have Marion Crane, who completely earns our sympathy in a role that's tragically short, but so pivotal. And then there's Norman Bates. He seems so gentle, almost boyish, but Anthony Perkins plays him with this nervous energy, this halting way of speaking that just hints at something terrifyingly unpredictable bubbling right under the surface. Seriously, Anthony Perkins' performance as Norman Bates is nothing short of legendary. He created one of the most iconic and haunting characters in all of film history. It's his performance that really cements Psycho as this chilling psychological deep dive, and not just some simple slasher flick. So why do we still talk about this film today? It's because Psycho is so much more than just a scary movie. It's a cultural landmark that didn't just break the rules. It completely tore up the old rulebook and wrote a new one. The film's terror really sticks with you because it taps into these deep-seated fears we all have. It was one of the first mainstream movies to ever frankly explore things like split identity and mental trauma. It's a haunting look at the dangers of isolation and repression. And maybe most importantly, it gave us that chilling idea that the most terrifying monsters can be hiding behind a quiet, ordinary face. You just can't overstate the film's long-term impact. In 1960, it shattered Hollywood rules by killing off its biggest star only 40 minutes in. I mean, nobody did that. That single, audacious move paved the way for the entire modern slasher genre of the 70s. And even today, its DNA is deeply embedded in countless psychological thrillers that value suspense way more than gore. So in the end, the verdict is crystal clear. It's disturbing, it's unpredictable, and it is crafted with the precision of a surgeon. Psycho isn't just a classic. It remains a timeless, unshakable masterpiece of suspense. All these decades later, the film's power to unsettle us is as strong as ever. And it leaves us with one final, chilling question. If Psycho taught us that monsters can hide behind the most ordinary faces, who are you forgetting to really look at?